What is a transgender? To me, a transgender is someone that wants to or has changed their sex in order to match how they are feeling inside. According to the dictionary, a transgender is an adjective. It means noting or relating to a person whose gender identity does not correspond to that person's biological sex assigned at birth. The second definition is noting or relating to a person who does not conform to societal gender norms or roles. According to the American College of Pediatricians, they urge legislators to reject all policies that condition children to accept as a normal life of chemical and surgical impersonation of the opposite sex. The title of this article is Gender Ideology Harms Children. They are saying that no one is born as a gender, you are born with a sex. So this teaches children at a very young age not to accept the idea of being transgender. After doing some research, I found a video of a 3-year-old child whose identity did not match their gender. Penelope was born a girl and had anger outbreaks. When his mom asked why, he said, "Because everyone thinks I'm a girl." His mother was supportive and said, "However you feel is fine." But Penelope replied, "No, Mom, I don't feel like a boy. I am a boy." Even at just 3 years old, a child is able to prove that to be incorrect.
Okay, let's now talk about Obama's administration. His administration realized the definition of identity, as was just described to you. And because of that definition, his administration passed a directive that said a transgender person could use any bathroom they identified with, no matter what was on their birth certificate. Because of that directive, it was a federal mandate, which meant that any school or federal building had to comply. With school, it fell under the Title IX guidelines. And because of that, a school's failure to treat students consistent with their gender identity may create or contribute to a hostile environment, which would be in violation of Title IX. So they could, in turn, lose money. A lot of people have tried to fight the law, but under Obama's administration, it stayed the law.
Now onto Trump's administrative order. As we can see and now understand, Obama's administrative order was for transgender bathrooms. However, Trump wanted a reversal on Obama's guidelines for transgender bathrooms. Some lawmakers, educators, as well as students agree that in allowing transgender individuals to use the bathroom in which they identify themselves with would threaten the safety as well as the privacy of students who are not transgender. Trump believes that transgender policies should be decided at a state level, whereas each state decides whether or not they choose to allow a transgender individual to use the bathroom in which they identify themselves with. However, many supporters believe it is not a state decision, it is a civil right. Nonetheless, though the transgender bathroom policy was declined, the order requires that schools must protect transgender students from bullying, stating, "All schools must ensure that all students, including LGBT students, are able to live and thrive in a safe environment."
What happens now? What happens today if a transgender person wants to go to the bathroom of their choice? Well, they probably want to choose correctly depending on what state they're in to avoid discrimination and backlash. Because it's up to that particular state whether or not they want a transgender person to go to the bathroom of their choice or to go to the bathroom based on their birth certificate. States like Alabama, Wisconsin, Texas, West Virginia, Tennessee, Arizona, Maine, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Utah, Georgia, Mississippi, Kentucky, and North Carolina want you to use the bathroom that is based on your birth certificate. What about here in Maryland? Well, here in Maryland, we have something called the Fairness for All Marylanders Act. And in that act, it adds gender identity, the protected classifications, prohibiting discrimination on basis of gender identity. So, here in Maryland, you can definitely, if you're transgender, go to the bathroom that you want.